Yeah, don't forget to hydrate. That's a key one. I was out there walking by the river this morning, and yeah, I definitely had to take a water break.
Yeah, that's the key, Jordan, especially when you start combining the warmth and humidity together. We always want to stay hydrated. And it will be one of those stretches, at least over the next 72 hours, where we factor in the heat and humidity combined. And on top of that, with enough fuel in our atmosphere, we'll be watching for some periodic thunderstorms. We do have a 13 weather impact alert late in the day Wednesday, really Wednesday night, and then once again as Thursday goes on. First of which, because of the warmth and humidity together, our warmest stretch of weather so far this year. When you combine the heat and humidity, it'll feel more like the 90s to even near 100 degrees. And with that fuel in our atmosphere, we do have the potential for severe thunderstorms. So it's just one of those stretches to stay weather aware over the coming days, with a busier week compared to all the quiet weather we have enjoyed over the past week and a half or so. Daytime highs today, primarily in the 80s, our warmest spots at the lake shore, and that was all due to a south and east wind. So the wind offshore allowing our warmest spots to set closer to Lake Michigan. Grand Rapids, 86 the daytime high, 8 degrees above the average of 78 here on this 8th of June. Look at the water here on Lake Michigan, kind of looking like glass. And again, that is due to that south and east wind. Not much of a risk up and down Lake Michigan in the way of beach and boating today. 13 weather ball, however, is blinking blue. Don't let it fool you. But despite temperatures tomorrow being a few degrees cooler than today, the humidity will continue to rise, and that will negate those slightly cooler temperatures that are ahead of us tomorrow. And we do have some passing thunder showers in sight over the next 24 hours. Now, temperatures tonight, yeah, it's going to remain warm. It's going to remain muggy, only falling into the 60s tomorrow with a fair amount of cloud coverage throughout the day and still holding on to that passing thunder shower chance. That's why we only make our way into the upper 70s to lower 80s across the board. But here's the thing, the humidity continues to be noticeable. We felt it today. It's been on the rise, and anytime the dew point is in the upper 60s, even into the lower 70s, especially above that 70-degree mark, that is air you can wear for our standards. And that's what we're going to have tomorrow, Wednesday, even into Thursday. Now, over the next 24 hours, our precipitation chance, the rain and thunder shower chance, will be driven by this low pressure system that meanders through the Great Lakes region. The good news, at least through tomorrow, we are not anticipating any severe weather, just some passing showers. But with all the moisture in our atmosphere, we definitely will contend with heavy rainmakers. Here's the thing. We'll likely see the coverage of these passing thunder showers remain hit or miss. We are not expecting a widespread bout of rainfall tonight through tomorrow. So what does that mean? Well, that's going to lead to a large variety on who sees the most amount of rain. Some spots will be a little lackluster compared to others, just dependent on where those thunder showers progress tonight through tomorrow. And that's the case. There's tomorrow morning through the midday hours. You can see that passing thunder shower continuing. Eventually, by the end of tomorrow, I think will temporarily dry out through a fair chunk of Wednesday. But in the meantime, through the end of tomorrow, take the numbers with a grain of salt. It's just showcasing that some spots could see not that much rain, while others, with just how moisture laden our atmosphere is, 1 to 2+ inches of rain just over the next 24 hours. Then the focus turns to Wednesday and Thursday. We have it highlighted in red. Again, a 13 weather impact alert. The heat and humidity builds, and then we have enough fuel for those thunderstorms. This is all going to be driven by two different reasons, though. The first chance, this is going to be Wednesday late in the day and primarily during the nighttime hours. This is going to be driven by thunderstorms that develop well to our north and west throughout Wednesday. We'll deal what's left over from those thunderstorms, likely in the way of a squall line, later in the night. That's why our risk is still a little lower compared to those to the west. That's what we'll be watching Wednesday. Thursday's risk will be tied to the overall system that brings a cold front into the Great Lakes by the end of the day through the nighttime hours. And that's going to set the stage for organized thunderstorms late Thursday into Thursday night. So two different reasons, but we still have a lot of heat, a lot of humidity. That means a lot of fuel for those storms to feed off of. So that's what we'll contend with Wednesday and Thursday. One more time, 13 weather impact alert because of that risk. Just stay weather aware. That's always the biggest thing when we have a lot of factors in our forecast. Here's one last thing to kind of talk about, Jordan, is that once we get towards the end of the week, that cold front comes through, we do cool down. The humidity will sweep out of here, and it does appear that cooler than average temperatures are brewing just beyond this 7-day forecast. You can kind of see a little hint of that Sunday and Monday, the end of the weekend and early next week. Daytime highs in the 70s. I think that's going to be rather sustained into much of June. So while we have the heat, the humidity, the next few days, that might take a back seat by the end of this 7-day forecast.
Well, that sounds great because the heat is kind of brutal right now. So I think if we can cut back on the heat and humidity, it'd be a great summer.
A lot of happy campers out there.
Oh, yes.